Good morning, boys and girls. Today is Monday, and we're going to start a new read aloud today. Today we're going to begin the book called Holes by Louis Sachar. This book has won the Newbery Medal and the National Book Award. So what I want to show you is a little bit of the close-up of the cover. You can kind of see these two boys looking down into a deep hole. Now, I'm going to read the back too, so you can get a little sense of what's going on. Stanley Yelnats is under a curse that began with his no good, dirty, rotten, pig-stealing great-great-grandfather and has since followed generations of Yelnatses. Now Stanley has been unjustly sent to a boys' detention center, Camp Green Lake, where the boys build character by spending all day, every day, digging holes exactly 5 feet wide and 5 feet deep. There is no lake at Camp Green Lake, but there are an awful lot of holes. It doesn't take long for Stanley to realize that Camp Green Lake isn't what it seems. Are the boys digging holes because the warden is looking for something? But what could be buried under a dried up lake? It's up to Stanley to dig up the truth. So we're going to go ahead and begin. And I want to let you know I'm reading this book aloud by permission of the Yearling Publishing Company. Part 1. You are entering Camp Green Lake. Chapter 1. There is no lake at Camp Green Lake. There once was a very large lake here, the largest lake in Texas. That was over 100 years ago. Now it is just a dry, flat wasteland. There used to be a town of Green Lake as well. The town shriveled and dried up, along with the lake and the people who lived there. During the summer, the daytime temperature hovers around 95 degrees in the shade, if you can find any shade. There's not much shade in a big, dry lake. The only trees are 2 old oaks on the eastern edge of the lake. A hammock is stretched between the 2 trees, and a log cabin stands behind that. The campers are forbidden to lie in the hammock. It belongs to the warden. The warden owns the shade. Out on the lake, rattlesnakes and scorpions find shade under rocks and in the holes dug by the campers. Here's a good rule to remember about rattlesnakes and scorpions. If you don't bother them, they won't bother you, usually. Being bitten by a scorpion or even a rattlesnake is not the worst thing that can happen to you. You won't die, usually. Sometimes a camper will try to be bitten by a scorpion or even a small rattlesnake. Then he will get to spend a day or two recovering in his tent, instead of having to dig a hole out on the lake. But you don't want to be bitten by a yellow-spotted lizard. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. You will die a slow and painful death, always. If you get bitten by a yellow-spotted lizard, you might as well go under the shade of the oak trees and lie in the hammock. There is nothing anyone can do to you anymore. And that is the end of chapter 1. I want you to think a little bit about the warden, and if he's the only one who enjoys the shade, what kind of a warden is he?